Let's be honest. If you told comic book fans 10 years ago that the multiverse would become a household phrase, they'd have laughed you at the comic book shop. But here we are, living in a world where not one, but two Spider-Man movies had made the multiverse the hottest ticket in town. Whether you're a die-hard Marvel head or just someone who loves a good popcorn flick, you've probably found yourself asking, which Spider-Man movie did the multiverse better? Spider-Verse or No Way Home? Grab your web shooters and settle in. We're going deep, breaking down every single angle and keeping it real. Let's swing through the multiverse together and see who wore the mask the best. Alright, let's start at the beginning. How did the chaos even start? In No Way Home, Peter Parker's in full panic mode. Mysterio's just outed him to the world. The media's hounding him, and his friends' lives are in shambles. So what does he do? He asks Doctor Strange for a magical do-over. One spell gone sideways, and suddenly, the barriers between universes snap like a cheap web cartridge. Now Spider-Man and their most dangerous villains are crashing the MCU party, all because of a magical mishap. Meanwhile, Spider-Verse takes a different route. The chaos isn't magic, it's science, and it's personal. Kingpin, driven by grief over losing his family, builds a reality-bending collider to try and bring them back. This act tears open the multiverse, yanking Spider-People from wildly different universes and art styles into Miles Morales' world. Here, the multiverse isn't just a plot device, it's a reflection of loss, hope, and the messiness of growing up. But who did it better? Both setups are wild and fun, but Spider-Verse ties the multiverse to its characters' hearts. The stakes aren't just fix the world, they're about healing, identity, and growing up. That's a win for Spider-Verse for making the multiverse feel personal, not just flashy. Let's talk feelings, because Spider-Man stories always hit you right in the heart. Spider-Verse is all about Miles Morales. He's awkward, unsure, and just trying to figure out who he is. Through his journey, he meets other Spider-People, Peter B. Parker, the lovable mess, Gwen Stacy, the cool, confident friend, and more. Each of them helps Miles realize that being Spider-Man isn't about perfection. It's about showing up even when you're scared. It's a classic coming-of-age story, but with web-slinging and dimension-hopping. No Way Home is a different emotional beast. Tom Holland's Peter Parker loses Aunt May, faces the world's hatred, and nearly loses himself to rage. But then, in a move that made theaters erupt, the other Spider-Men, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, show up. They're not just cameos, they're mentors, brothers, and living proof that Peter can survive tragedy and still be a hero. For fans who grew up with all three Spider-Men, it's a cathartic full-circle moment. But who wins? It's a tie, but for different reasons. Spider-Verse is more emotionally consistent and focused on Miles' growth. No Way Home delivers a gut punch of nostalgia and closure for fans who love Spider-Man for decades. Growth versus closure. Pick your flavor. Let's be real. Both movies look amazing, but in totally different ways. Spider-Verse didn't just animate a movie, it blew up the rulebook. Every universe has its own art style, from comic book dots to anime flair to glitchy, mind-bending visuals. The film feels like a living, breathing comic book, with every frame packed with energy and personality. It's not just a movie, it's a visual mixtape, and it's unlike anything else out there. No Way Home brings classic MCU polish. The special effects are tight, the multiverse rips look cool, and the final battle at the Statue of Liberty is pure spectacle. And seeing three Spider-Men swinging together in live action? Goosebumps. But visually, it plays it safer than Spider-Verse. So who wins? Spider-Verse by a mile. It's not just pretty, it's revolutionary. It changed how animated movies are made, and what audiences expect from them. Now, you can't have a great Spider-Man story without great villains. No Way Home brings back the heavy hitters: Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Electro, Sandman, and Lizard. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is as terrifying as ever, and the film gives these villains real depth and tragedy. Plus, Peter's mission to save them rather than just defeat them adds a layer of empathy and heart. Spider-Verse gives us Kingpin, Prowler, and a surprise twist on Doc Ock. The reveal that Prowler is Miles' uncle is brutal, and Kingpin's grief makes him more than just a big scary brute. But the villains here are more about serving Miles' journey than stealing the spotlight. So who wins? No Way Home takes it. The villains are iconic, emotional, and deliver some of the film's best moments. Both movies give us Spider People galore, but in very different ways. Spider-Verse introduces a wild, diverse crew. Peter B. Parker, the dad bod Spidey. Gwen Stacy, Spider-Man Noir voiced by Nicolas Cage. Penny Parker, and her mech SP. Doctor and Spider-Ham. Each one is unique with their own style and quirks, and Across the Spider-Verse only ups the ante, adding even more spider heroes from across the multiverse. No Way Home keeps it tight, just Tom, Andrew, and Tobey, but the chemistry is off the charts. The banter, the lab scene, the final swing, they feel like brothers, and it gives longtime fans the closure they never thought they'd get. But who wins? If you want diversity and originality, Spider-Verse is your pick. If you crave nostalgia and brotherly vibes, No Way Home delivers. But for pushing the team-up concept further, Spider-Verse edges out. Let's be honest, fan service can make or break a movie. Spider-Verse doesn't really rely on cameos or cheap thrills. Every character, even the wacky ones like Spider-Ham, serves Miles' journey and has real stakes. No Way Home walks the tightrope of fan service. Tobey and Andrew aren't just there for applause. They get full arcs. Andrew gets closure for Gwen. Tobey is the wise elder, and together they help Tom's Peter become the Spider-Man he's meant to be. It's fan service, but with purpose. So who wins? Both nail it. Spider-Verse feels tighter and less reliant on nostalgia, so a slight edge to Spider-Verse. A multiverse movie needs a killer soundtrack. Spider-Verse delivers bangers like Sunflower and What's Up Danger. The whole soundtrack becomes the sound of Miles Morales, fresh, youthful, and instantly iconic. No Way Home leans on orchestral scores and sneaks in classic musical cues from previous Spider-Man films. When you hear those Danny Elfman and Hans Zimmer themes, instant chills. Who wins? Cultural impact goes to Spider-Verse. It's not just a soundtrack, it's a vibe, a lifestyle, a playlist for the ages. This is the big one. No Way Home shattered box office records, earning nearly $2 billion and proving that multiverse movies can unite generations of fans. It's a modern classic and a celebration of Spider-Man's cinematic legacy. But Spider-Verse? It didn't just succeed, it changed the game. Studios everywhere started rethinking how animated films could look and feel. Its influence is everywhere, from commercials to other movies. And Across the Spider-Verse only added more fuel to the creative fire. So who wins? No Way Home is a cinematic celebration. Spider-Verse is a creative revolution. For long-term impact, Spider-Verse takes the crown. Alright, let's keep it real. If you're after pure fan hype, those jaw-dropping, they're all here moments, Andrew saving MJ, Tobey staring down Green Goblin, No Way Home might be your champion. But if you care about innovation, artistry, and pushing the genre forward, Spider-Verse is in a league of its own. It didn't just open the multiverse, it remixed it, graffitied it, and made it something entirely new. One gave us closure, the other gave us a revolution. One broke the box office, the other broke the rules. So who wins? Honestly, we all do. We live in a timeline where Spider-Man has multiple masterpieces, across styles, across universes, across generations. But let's not end on a cop-out. Here's the verdict. If you want a movie that feels like Spider-Man, awkward, hopeful, and endlessly creative, Spider-Verse is your pick. If you want a movie that celebrates Spider-Man, nostalgic, emotional, and packed with payoff, No Way Home is your jam. But we want to hear from you. Which one hit you harder? Which multiverse story felt more Spider-Man to you? Was it the revolutionary style and heart of Spider-Verse? Or the epic, emotional closure of No Way Home? Drop your take in the comments. Argue your case. Share your favorite moments, theories, or even your wildest what-if scenarios. The multiverse is big enough for all of our opinions. And that's the real magic. No matter which side you're on, we're living in the golden age of Spider-Man. And honestly, that's the best universe of all. Now, go rewatch your favorite and see if your answer changes, because in the multiverse, anything is possible. Now, if you've enjoyed this breakdown and want to see other content like this, be sure to like the video and subscribe to Spider-Man Explained. We'll catch you on the next one.